You're working, deadline looming, fingers flying across the keyboard. You're in the zone. And then it happens. Your cat walks across the room, makes direct eye contact, and sits directly on your laptop. Right on the keyboard, right in the middle of your screen. And you think, oh, they just want attention. They're being cute. They miss me. Wrong. What you just witnessed wasn't a plea for affection. It was a calculated power move, a deliberate interruption, a tactical assertion of dominance. Your cat doesn't sit on your laptop because they want attention. They sit on your laptop because they're reminding you who's actually in charge. Let's break down what's really happening here. Because that innocent-looking interruption, it's the culmination of millions of years of evolutionary strategy combined with frighteningly accurate behavioral observation. Your cat has been studying you. They know exactly what you care about. They know exactly what commands your focus. And they've identified your laptop as a direct competitor for your attention. So they eliminate the competition. Not with violence, with strategic positioning. Think about it. Your cat has the entire house to sit in. The couch, the windowsill, that expensive cat bed you bought that they've never once used. 17 different soft surfaces. But they choose your laptop. Every single time. That's not random. That's targeted. They're not seeking warmth, despite what the internet told you. They're seeking control. Here's what most people don't understand. Cats are ambush predators. Their entire evolutionary blueprint is built around patience, observation, and striking at the exact moment that guarantees success. They don't just pounce on prey randomly. They wait. They watch. They calculate the precise second when their target is most vulnerable. And then they strike. Your cat applies this exact same predatory calculus to you. They observe your behavior patterns. They identify what you value. They determine when you're most focused, most productive, most engaged with something that isn't them. And that's when they make their move. The laptop sit isn't affection. It's an ambush. But let's go deeper, because the laptop strategy serves multiple purposes simultaneously. First, there's the obvious dominance display. By physically placing themselves between you and your work, they're establishing a hierarchy. They're the priority. Not your job, not your deadline, not your email. Them. This is the same territorial claiming behavior they use in the wild, except instead of marking a hunting ground, they're marking your attention span. Second, and this is where it gets sinister, they're training you. Every single time they sit on your laptop and you stop working to move them, pet them, or acknowledge them, you're reinforcing the behavior. You're teaching them that interrupting your productivity gets them exactly what they want. Your undivided focus, you think you're the one training them with treats and toys. No, they're training you with laptop sits and strategic timing. Now let's talk about the physical mechanics of the laptop sit. Your cat doesn't just plop down anywhere on the device. They position themselves with precision. Maximum screen coverage. Maximum keyboard disruption. They're not trying to get warm from the laptop heat. If warmth was the goal, they'd sit next to it. They'd curl up near the vent. But they don't. They sit on it, sprawled out, taking up maximum real estate. Because the goal isn't comfort. The goal is interference. They're creating a physical barrier between you and your objective. And here's the really calculated part. When you try to move them, they go limp. Dead weight. That's not relaxation. That's resistance. They're making it as difficult as possible for you to remove them without feeling like a monster. Who wants to forcibly shove their cat off their laptop? Nobody. So you don't. You work around them. You adjust. You accommodate. And they win. Let's address the wellness check factor. Remember, cats are hardwired to verify their resources are functional. In the wild, a cat checks on cached food to make sure it hasn't spoiled. In your home, you're the cached resource. And when you're staring at a screen for hours, not making eye contact, not responding to their presence, they start to wonder, is this human still operational? Are they still capable of opening cans? Still able to provide food, shelter, and warmth? So they test you. They sit on the thing consuming your attention and wait for your reaction. If you respond, you're still functional. If you don't, they escalate. Paw to the face. Knocking things off your desk. Whatever it takes to confirm you're still a viable resource provider. The laptop sit is quality control on their primary asset. You. And then there's the scent component. Those paws touching your keyboard? Scent glands. Those cheeks rubbing against your screen? More scent glands. Your cat isn't just sitting on your laptop. They're marking it. They're leaving their chemical signature all over the device you touch constantly, look at constantly, prioritize constantly. Why? Because if they can't eliminate the competition, they'll claim it. They're essentially saying, fine, you can have your laptop, but everyone needs to know it belongs to me first and you second. Other cats who might smell your laptop bag, they'll know. That laptop is owned by a cat. The human is just borrowing it. Here's where the 3 a.m. connection comes in. You know those zoomies? Those midnight sprints through the hallway? That's your cat being crepuscular, active at dawn and dusk, running territorial patrols, even though there's no territory to defend in your apartment. They're keeping you sleep-deprived. Why? Because a tired human is a manageable human. A tired human doesn't have the energy to resist when a cat sits on their laptop at 2 in the afternoon. A tired human just sighs, stops working, and gives the cat exactly what they want. The laptop sits and the 3 a.m. zoomies are part of the same strategy. Exhaust you, interrupt you, control you. And let's not forget the gaslighting element. Sometimes your cat sits on your laptop and stares. Not at you, just stares into the middle distance. Or they stare at the wall behind you with that intense, unblinking focus. You know what they're doing? They're using their superior sensory perception to mess with your head. Cats can see ultraviolet light. They can hear up to 64,000 hertz. They perceive things you can't, and they know it. So when they sit on your laptop and stare at nothing, they're making you wonder, is there something there? Should I be concerned? Am I missing something? It's deliberate psychological manipulation, designed to make you feel off balance in your own space. A human who feels uncertain is easier to control than one who feels confident. But perhaps the most brilliant part of the laptop strategy is the slow blink follow-up. After sitting on your laptop, after disrupting your work, after forcing you to acknowledge them, they hit you with the slow blink. Those slow, deliberate eye closures that every cat blog tells you means, I love you. And your brain floods with oxytocin. You feel warm, connected, bonded. You completely forget that 30 seconds ago you were furious because they just closed 17 browser tabs by walking across your keyboard. The slow blink isn't love. It's a reset button. It's neurochemical manipulation designed to erase your frustration and replace it with affection. They've literally hacked your brain chemistry to make you forgive them instantly for sabotaging your productivity. That's not cute. That's psychological warfare. Think about the broader pattern here. Cats are obligate carnivores who evolved as solitary hunters. They don't naturally cooperate. They don't form packs. They operate alone. So why has your cat restructured their entire existence around your schedule? Why do they sleep when you sleep, wake when you wake, and follow you from room to room? Because they've determined that maximum resource extraction requires constant surveillance. They can't risk you developing priorities that don't include them. They can't let you become too independent, too focused on work, too engaged with anything that might threaten the flow of food and shelter. So they interrupt, constantly, strategically. The laptop is just the most visible battlefield in a war you didn't even know you were fighting. If you're watching this and thinking, okay, this is interesting, but my cat actually does love me, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button, because you're going to need the reality checks that are coming. And drop a comment telling me how many times your cat sat on your laptop this week. I guarantee it's more than you think. So what do you do with this information? How do you work when your cat has identified your laptop as enemy number one? Well, first, you accept that you're not going to win. The cat has biological advantages you can't match. Patience, persistence, the ability to sleep 18 hours a day and still have energy to destroy your productivity during the 2 hours you actually need to focus. You're outmatched. Second, you stop interpreting the behavior as affection. It's strategy. Once you see it as strategy, you can at least respect the game. Your cat isn't being sweet, they're being smart. And third, you set boundaries knowing full well they'll be ignored. You can try the decoy laptop. You can try the heating pad next to your workspace. You can try bribing them with treats. None of it will work long term because they're not actually seeking warmth or alternative surfaces. They're seeking control. And they get control by sitting exactly where you don't want them to sit. The truth is, the laptop sit is just one move in a comprehensive control system your cat has built around your entire life. The face touching at night to check if you're still breathing. Just making sure their food source is operational for tomorrow. The scent marking on every surface you touch, branding you as property. The 3 a.m. sprints, sleep deprivation tactics. The staring at nothing. Gaslighting to keep you uncertain. The slow blink. Oxytocin manipulation to maintain your compliance. Every single behavior works together. The laptop sit isn't isolated. It's part of a larger framework designed to keep you trained, exhausted, and emotionally bonded to a creature that views you as a resource dispenser with useful thumbs. Your cat doesn't sit on your laptop because they want cuddles. They sit on your laptop because they want control. And the scariest part? They get it. Every single time. You stop working. You move them gently. You pet them. You talk to them in that voice you use only for them. And they've won. Again. You can know exactly what they're doing. You can understand the manipulation. You can see through the strategy. And you'll still let them do it. Because they've trained you so thoroughly that even conscious awareness doesn't break the conditioning. Tonight, when you're trying to finish that report, and your cat walks over with that purposeful stride, and you watch them position themselves directly on your keyboard, you'll know exactly what's happening. You'll recognize it as a dominance display, a resource check, a territorial claim, and a training exercise all rolled into one furry package. You'll know you're being manipulated, and you'll still stop working to accommodate them. Because the experiment was successful. They've trained you completely. And honestly, you have to respect the efficiency. Sleep well, work hard, and when that tail swishes across your screen tomorrow, just remember, they're not being affectionate. They're being territorial. Your laptop is theirs now. You're just allowed to borrow it when they're not using it to remind you who's really running this operation.
You trained me completely, didn't you?